Listen up, y'all. Listen up, y'all. Listen up, y'all. Listen up, y'all.
Oh yeah, it's hump day here. 96.1 FM styling in the afternoon, helping you drag through the workday. This is the Dragon in the Afternoon show, and we're just sitting here kicking it, talking about family values and talking about wild parties back when we were kids, and talking about fucking pussy and dick. That's what we're talking about, okay?
Talking about shit we got away with and didn't get away with.
Yeah. So
what was it your dad said, Jade?
Well, today when I was talking to Dad, and he was telling me how he went and met Mason's girlfriend, and he's, she's a cutie, and I said, well, did you expect anything different? I said, I want you to make sure you buy him protection. He goes, that boy don't need protection. I said, Dad, no, protection, like condoms. And he
you don't buy him a gun.
Yeah, he started laughing his ass off. He's like, I'm not, you can buy that for him. I'm like, well, somebody's going to have to, because I'm not having no grandbabies.
Yeah, drop the rubbers off at the door.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, you better, or I'm gonna. If you're taking him to see this girl, he's 16 years old. I'm not trying to be one of those 40-year-old grandmamas. But he thought that was pretty funny. I don't know. It's having those conversations with your parents. You know what I mean? In moments.
So let me get this right. So you don't you just rather be a MILF right now than a Nana.
Than a guilt, yeah.
Yeah, a guilt. Guilt.
She is a MILF.
Oh, how fucking funny.
But no.
I think I'm gonna change your name, fucking MILF JD, on the show.
I only had one boy to deal with and then 3 girls. And it was funny when I had my first girl, my dad told me, he said, boys are easier than girls. And I said, oh, yeah. He goes, yeah. He goes, boys, you got one little dickhead to deal with.
Exactly.
I said, yeah. And he goes, but if you have a girl, you got to worry about every swinging dick in town.
Yeah. I heard that one because I had 3 girls. I had 3 girls.
I had 3 girls and a boy, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got 1 girl, but she's only 6 years old, so.
Well, I've said this story before. So when Tori was 8 years old, a little boy, we'd have parties at the house, like Halloween parties and Christmas parties, summer parties, there was always a bonfire going on at my fucking house on the weekends.
Right.
And people, the parents would come drop off their kids. Well, this little boy had a crush on Tori. So the mom talked to Bozo and just go ask the dad's permission.
Oh.
So I'm sitting there on my Cub Cadet, drinking a beer, away from the kids, watching them play around the bonfire and making s'mores. Hello, sir. Can I talk to you? I turn around and I'm like, what the fuck are you? Well, I would like to ask your daughter if she could go to the movies with me. I'm like, how old are you? I'm 8. How do you expect to get there? My mom's going to take us. So the women thought it was adorable. Yeah, I introduced him. I go, well, let's go in the house. I want to show you something. Like, you like guns?
No.
I showed him my guns. I go, you want to take my daughter out? You know how to shoot? Yeah, my dad, me and him go hunting all the time. And I'm like, oh, man, fuck. I'm in the country. Damn it.
Take it by shoot better than me.
So I had this guillotine, right? It used to sit on my desk back in the day. Now at the time, it was at my office. I brought it home and I don't know. I chopped fucking shit with it and the kids thought it was funny. It sat in the bedroom, right? So he had a hot dog, right? They're roasting hot dogs. And I said, you know anything about sex? Well, I know a pee-pee goes in a woman's vagina. And I said, will you do that to my daughter? And I put that hot dog with the bun in that thing and chopped it. And I go, we got any more questions?
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Well, his mom and the baby mama didn't think that was funny, but his dad thought that was fucking hilarious. So yeah, they went to the movies. You know, it was kind of cool. They went out to eat. They got to sit at this restaurant by themselves. And then they went and saw some fucking movie. I don't know what they saw. Shrek. I don't know. Minions. I don't fucking know. and then she, you know, the baby mama was, because I call her Bozo, you know, because I'm not going to say her name on the air because she's a fucking idiot. She was all looking at the back door. He's going to kiss her goodnight. They stood there for 5 minutes talking. I'm like, well, you ain't got to worry about getting pregnant from this dude. He's probably still thinking about the guillotine.
I ain't fucking touching her.
Yeah, so. But, you know, when we broke up, it broke my heart that the girls were turning into teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
And I still kind of talk to them every now and then, but here's the thing. All of my friends said this, and it's probably true. You got out when you could, because now they're teenagers with hormones. You would go to prison.
Yes.
You'd end up beating the fuck out of some kid. So,
yes.
Yeah.
So things
things
in life happen for a reason. I was just telling somebody yesterday, look, I'm not dating material. I'm not the guy that you want to bring home to your mom and dad. I'm just a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to live out the rest of my life like that.
Yeah, you don't know how many times I had to fucking threaten a kid.
Well, I asked JD to marry me.
Stupid and...
I asked JD to marry me, but she went into negotiations, and I just kind of was like, you know, fucking start breaking out contracts and stuff.
Well, nowadays you got to, you know.
Nowadays we can't mess around.
Yeah.
Straight to the point. No.
Yeah.
This is a business arrangement, goddammit.
Yeah. Hey, JD would have married me for sure. But she had that goddamn contract. I go, so is this a prenup? Oh, no, I ain't got shit coming in the relationship. No.
It's just an agreement so we know where we stand.
This is a requirements list.
Yes.
Yeah, dude, it was like a beat-on Bible. And I'm like, man, can we just stay friends? She's like, yeah, I think that'd be the best bet, don't you? I was hoping she'd fly me around on her broom, but, man, it didn't work out.
Listen,
like that.
I know my words.
I
can still fly you around on the broom.
Yeah.
We can still do that.
Yeah, we can still kick it. But no, JD's like, look, man, I've been through this whole fucking thing before. This time I've got requirements. This is a This is not a negotiation. So,
No.
No, I did not ask JD to marry me, okay, people.
No.
I'm not saying I wouldn't marry her, but I don't want to marry anybody, and I think JD's in the same fucking spot. She don't want to ever get married.
I ain't doing
It
that
would
shit
take
again.
that one special person, you know. It would take, and he would have to be.
He'd have to
he'd have to meet the requirements list.
He'd have to read through that fucking contract very, you know. He'd be bringing in a underwriter.
You'd have to double check that contract.
And what's this mean right here? It's a typo. Oh. Give me 2 days, I'll fix
Supposed
it.
to be twice.
Yeah, it's supposed to be twice.
Shit.
Yeah, I was talking.
You were talking about kid in his first date.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had a first date with this girl one time. She was 16. She was valedictorian at her school, really smart, cute. Mm-hmm. And I was from another school. And, you know, I'm a redneck. She lived on a farm. Her dad was a big old farmer. Was a, fisherman. He went on the weekends, got fish for this fucking fish place and everything. I'd never met him. So I come to her house first night, and I've got a 65 Impala SS with a Bill 327 and header mufflers. I come barreling up her fucking driveway with that loud thing.
Yeah, driving a land yacht.
Yeah, a fast land yacht. And
hell, it needed all the power to move.
Oh, God, it did. And I get there, and I go walking in the house, and she says, I got to introduce you to my dad before we can leave. And I'm like, oh, no. I walk in the kitchen, and sitting at this kitchen is a cross between Grizzly Adams and his bear. And I'm like, oh, fuck. You know?
So it looked like the guy that was on our Harry's Nuts fucking ads.
Yeah, pretty much.
You had to be such a that dating a farmer's daughter.
Oh, yeah, she was cute. big boob girl, smarter than shit. And I'm like, yeah, I am so fucked. You know? Come to find out she was a virgin, too.
Oh, God.
That just made it worse. So it was funny because he didn't hardly say anything. He's like, hey. I said, he's like, your name's Jim? I said, yeah. He goes, mine too. Don't forget my name. Okay. So we're getting ready to leave, and he's sitting there by the little door in the kitchen, and he was working on something on the table, and he goes, what time are you going to have her home? I said, what time do you want her home? He reaches around the corner of the doorway, pulls out a shotgun, and stands it next to him and goes, midnight. I said, I'll have her home by 11:30.
Yeah, no
Shoot
shit.
me. Have her home by 11:30. Shit. He's showing me the shotgun the first night, son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, I had there was a girl in Collinsville. I was thinking about her a while back, how I met her. And it must have been through some mutual friends or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she lived out on a farm out in Collinsville. And of course, back then we didn't have GPS. Hell, we didn't even have MapQuest, okay?
I didn't even have phone back then when I did this.
Yeah, well, she fucking said, you go to this road, to this road. It took me about 45 minutes to find this motherfucking place, okay? But I found it. And there she was, and, you know, she had a really nice sundress on, and I look over, and I'm like, oh, fuck. I go, is your parents Amish? No. Like, they look fucking Amish, and he goes, well, they're farmers.
Mm-hmm.
So about that time, you know, we're sitting there, and I'm in this peach fucking S10, slammed to the ground with big blue fucking heartbeat stripe down the side of it, right?
Yep.
In a farming neighborhood, like, I stand out like fucking a glowing green alien, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here comes this wagon with this horse pulling it. Looked like an Amish buggy to me. Well, it was her brother and her uncle, and they were going into town with a load of pumpkins.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fucking Amish.
And I'm like, this fucking Amish. She's lying.
Yeah.
So he comes down and he shakes my hand, this, and this. And he goes, can I offer you a glass of milk? I'm like, what the fuck?
Pasteurized or non-pasteurized?
Yeah, you know, I'm just like, no, I'm good. Because I was always brought up, if someone offered you something, you say no. Because if you got arrested, that means you're going to crack under pressure.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
This sumbitch goes, what, my milk ain't good enough? And I said, no, I'm more of a water person.
It's your daughter's is.
Yeah, no shit, right? Because I'm looking at those big-ass titties, right? And then he goes, well, we milked the cow just this morning. And I'm like, really now? He's like, you ever did any farm work? He goes, your hands look awful smooth. And
Oh my God.
And I go, yeah, I'd like to keep them like that. So he goes, so what are you two going to go do? And I go, well, we're going to go see a movie. And he's like, yeah, I had a TV about 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And what did he say? I have no sense or whatever for television. And I'm like, so how do you watch the news? He goes, of course, he very hate politics, right? So I know I done stirred up the fucking hornet's nest now. So of course I'm a fucking smart ass. I go, well, how do you know about the weather? And he goes, well, I could just look outside and look at the weather. And I'm like, okay, well, let's get the fuck out of here. He goes,
If it's wet, it's raining.
he goes, you're gonna have her back by 9, right? I'm like, fuck, it's like 7 o'clock. I'm like, the movie starts at like 8. Well, what kind of movie? You going to a drive-in?
Oh my God.
He's like, just make sure you bring her back and there's nothing in her belly. And I'm sitting there thinking, what would be in her
Don't
belly?
feed her?
Yeah, I'm sitting there thinking, what would be in her belly? And then I'm like,
Trying to say she swallows?
yeah, no shit. I'm like, oh. So yeah, I kicked it with this girl for a few months. She was really cool. Her parents weren't Amish. They were just very fucking
Country.
farm country. So,
You know, there's country, but then there's country with a K.
well,
Country.
well, I tell you
That's
what,
different.
they sure knew what the crick was. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I know, how was
They
your...
knew what yonder was too, didn't they?
They said yonder an awful lot.
Y'all.
I could see why she
Catch
wanted.
any-
I could see why she wanted out of that house. She was bored as fuck.
What's that, Jade?
I said, "Did you catch any hithers?"
Yeah.
Come
Right.
here, I want to show you something.
Yeah. Now, come hither, up yonder, down by the creek. You know. Oh man.
I got family in Wisconsin, and everything my aunt says is, you know. Oh, fuck.
No, I don't know.
You know.
You tell me. Well, on that note, we're going right back into music.
You know?
Yeah. You're listening to 96.1 FM Styling in your ear, dragging through the afternoon. We'll be right back.